Wangchuk Dorjee Negi, who will speak about the infinite potential of the mind and the importance of spiritual practice through the story of Guru Padmasambhava. And is it a presentation?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right. Okay. Mr. Wangchuk Negi is actually the professor of Department of Moola Shastra, the Indian Buddhist philosophy in the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies in Sarnath, and also the Dean of Hetu Evam Adhyatma Vidya faculty. And he has previously been in the Central Institute of Buddhist Studies in Leh, Ladakh. He has 7 books to his credit and several papers, and he'll be speaking to us about the topic that he...
Gyagra penjum bola gadinje pema jungne kula datung me tadalundup simbe kananje Urian Rinpoche la sovand. Respected chairperson of this session, Sudha Gopal Krishnanji, and distinguished scholar on the dais and of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the organizer for giving such meritorious opportunity to share my view on the Guru Padmasambhava. Before I am going through my presentation, just I would like to say in 2 minutes in Hindi language, जैसे कि हम यहाँ पर एक प्रकार से मानव मनुष्य, लेकिन हम लोगों का अपीयरेंस सबका अलग अलग है। उसी प्रकार हम सभी बोलते हैं, लेकिन बोलने का तरीका हम लोगों का अलग अलग है। क्या उसी प्रकार हम लोगों का सोचने का तरीका अलग अलग नहीं हो सकता? निश्चित रूप से इसी दृष्टि से हमको देखना होगा, विशेषकर जब गुरु पद्मसंभव जो बहुत ही मिस्टीरियस है, रहस्य में है, उनके संबंध में बोलने पर निश्चित रूप से मतांतर हो सकते हैं। जो मैं यहाँ प्रेजेंट करने जा रहा हूँ, शायद वो आधुनिक लोगों को या हिस्टोरियन लोगों को बहुत ज़्यादा शायद सहमत नहीं हो सकते, लेकिन आप जानते हैं मैं मंक हूँ, तो मैं जो यहाँ बता रहा हूँ वो जो एक प्रकार से परंपरागत दृष्टि से जो हम साधना करते हैं, जो हमारे हिमालयन रीजन में हर 10वें शुक्ल पक्ष को हम जो साधना करते हैं गुरु पद्मसंभव का, और रात और दिन हम जो गुरु पद्मसंभव के मंत्र को रिसाइट करते हैं, उसमें हम कैसे विचार करते हैं, क्या हो सकती है गुरु पद्मसंभव का जो है स्वरूप क्या हो सकता है, इस पर मैंने लिखा है। तो एक दूसरी बात, बौद्धों की दृष्टि से जब हम देखते हैं तो इस सृष्टि का जो ओरिजिन होगा वो जो है एक प्रकार से डार्विन के इवोल्यूशन थ्योरी की तरह नहीं होता है। बुद्धिज्म की दृष्टि से जो दुनिया का ओरिजिन, सृष्टि का निर्माण जो है होमोजीनियस हो सकता है, सजातीय हो सकता है, हेट्रोजीनियस नहीं होगा। कभी भी जड़ से चेतन की उत्पत्ति नहीं हो सकती है, ना ही चेतना से जड़ की उत्पत्ति हो सकती है। जड़ और चेतन का अपना स्वतंत्र अस्तित्व है। जब हम व्यक्ति कहते हैं तो निश्चित रूप से हमारा व्यक्तित्व जो है जड़ और चेतन 2 चीजों से बना है। जहां मैटर है वहीं कॉन्शियसनेस भी है। मैटर और कॉन्शियसनेस जो है एक प्रकार से फायर और उसका हीट की तरह अभिन्न है, या जैसे एक प्रकार से फूल का गंध और फूल की तरह अभिन्न रूप से। यदि आप इस स्थिति को नहीं समझेंगे तो मैं समझता हूं फिर हम गुरु पद्मसंभव की वास्तविकता को नहीं समझ सकते हैं। वैसे भी जब हम दर्शन की बात करते हैं तो ऐसा है जैसे कि हम सब जानते हैं, एक स्टोरी है ना, एलिफेंट और 5-6 ब्लाइंड लोगों का, जो ये ब्लाइंड लोगों ने किसी ने उसके पूंछ को, ट्रेल को छुआ, किसी ने उसके पैर को छुआ, किसी ने उसके पेली को छुआ और इंटरप्रेट करने लगे दीवार जैसा है, रस्सी जैसा है या खंबा जैसा है। वो आंशिक रूप से सब सही है और आंशिक रूप से असत्य भी है। ठीक उसी प्रकार की जो आधुनिक सोच होगा या परंपरागत सोच होगा, मैं ये नहीं कहता पूर्ण रूप से सत्य है, लेकिन उसमें सत्य का अंश दोनों में है कैसे हमको जो है समन्वय रूप में बिठाना है, उस पर विचार करना होगा। इसी सोच के साथ मैं नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू प्रेजेंट माय पेपर। आई वांट टू गो थ्रू माय पेपर। Later on, if we have time, definitely I would like to be discussed on my paper anyhow. Tathagat, the Buddha mentioned of the three inconceivable power. Number one, inconceivable power of atom, inconceivable power of karma, cause and result, and the third, inconceivable potentiality of the mind. In the 21st century, we are aware of the power of atom. For example, atomic bomb, supersonic jet, internet, and so on. Regarding the karmic relation, with the help of the modern science, we can see the wonders of the universe, existence of the various and diverse creatures living on the earth and in the sea. Thus, we can understand the inconceivable power of karmic cause and result. But today, human beings are forgetting the power of the mind, even though mind is the very agent that cause all the other potentiality and the various action. The modern science is not aware of it. Therefore, it is a need of time and very much stable time to discuss on the great practitioners and accomplished Master Guru Padma Sambhava, as I feel. A person is not simply the aggregate of the atom or the form, not only the biological or physical stuffs, but of course their consciousness is also there, which is the dominant factor of the person. Unless we realize the existence and the infinite potentiality of the mind, our life cannot be experienced genuine happiness. The entire Buddhist literature talk about the nature of the mind and the various techniques of the discipline it. Therefore, the Buddha's teachings are known as the shasan, the meaning, the taming, discipline. Among these teachings, Shravaka on the hairy vehicles, Padmasambhava, the vow of the self-liberation, Bodhisattva vehicles or Paramita vehicles, consider the compassion, etc., much more important than the Pratimoksha Sambhava or the elimination of attachment, hatred, and so on. We find many sutras in which sometime for the benefit of the many others, even some action that are prohibited, otherwise are allowed if it is purely for the benefit of the many others. Vajrayana is the secret and esoteric vehicle which can be known from the following saying of the Nagpada Sekopdeshtika, I quote, Gridhar Kute Yatha Shasta Pragya Paramita Nahi Tatha Mantar Nahi Prokta Shridane Dharm Deshna. This means while the Buddha was teaching the Pranja Paramita at the Gridharkut Rajgiri, the Buddha also appeared out of his wisdom body or Jnanakaya in the form of Kalachakra deities and gave teaching on the Tantra to Suchandra, the king of Shambhala in Ambanavati in the same time, simultaneous way. So this is the secrecy. Without accepting such kind of thing, quite difficult to explain the life story of the Guru Padmasambhava. Same Acharya Shakya Mitra, 7th century, great tantric master, he said, while the Buddha was practicing harsh condition at the bank of Naranjana 6 years when he was doing regress training or regress practice, Shakya Sena says that same time when he was practicing Naranjana, same time his wisdom body was teaching Yoga Tantra in the Akanishka woman, Akanish realm. The person who is understand his or her own mind, Tathagata Garb or the Buddhahood, he or she is able to understand the fact that the Buddha can perform many activities at a time. Buddhahood can be acquired from the Buddhahood cannot be acquired from the outside. It is achieved only through the self-realization. This can be understood when we Anyway, the synonym of the Vajrayana is understood. So, what is Vajrayana is? It is said by Abhay Vajra, Vajrayen Shunyata Pravokta, Satven Jnana Matrata, Tat Atam Me Mano Siddham Vajra Sato Swabhavata. The inseparable nature of emptiness and the wisdom is called Vajra. And Vajrayana is the method or the path of visualize that very nature. As it is said, follow in the Guha Samaj Tantra. It says that Kaya Vaka Chit Vajrayana Bhed Abhed Swabhavata. According to Vajrayana tradition, body is not separate than mind, mind is not separate than speech, speech is not separate than mind. Means body, speech and minds are the manifestation of our primordial mind. We cannot make separate body and mind in individual way. Body, speech and mind are inseparable. So without knowing this reality, I don't think we can able to understand what is Vajrayana is, or what is the form of Guru Rinpoche is, how it is possible to appear in the different area in same time. Like, if we have understanding of these things, then only we are able to understand the reality of the, I think, Guru Padmasambhava. The body itself is speech, the speech itself is the mind itself is the body and speech. The oneness is the path of Vajrayana. It is also called resultant vehicle or Phalyana, because the resultant body, activity, etc. are contemplate on the very path to it. From this is clear that Tantra is utmost great, and it is not subject of the common people. Unless we understood the secrecy of the Tantra, we cannot do proper justice on the life and activity of the Padmasambhava. It is like I explained, 4 seasons to the short-lived creatures. How can survive even 1 season? So how can it is possible to understand the 4th season, who lives only 1 season, if asked to he or he. So in that way, I think without, what I want to emphasize is, without knowing the subtle wind energy and mind's unseparateness, so without knowing the primordial nature of our existence, there is no way to explain about the Guru Rinpoche. Anyhow, mysterious elements are found from the Theravada to Mantrayana. For example, it is said in the Atanati Sutra that Shakyamuni Buddha goes to the Tretanshik God realm to teach her mother. That is very sacred. How it is possible to human being to go to the Tretanshik? But it is explained in the Atanati Sutra in Theravada tradition. And even in Paramita, Asanga goes to the Tushita Haiwan and receive teaching from the Maitreya. Tilopa goes to the Tushita Haiwan and receive teaching from the Vajradhar, the great Tibetan translator. Marpa meet the wisdom body of the Nadapath after the passing away of the Nadapath. Similarly, even though Acharya Chandrakirti born 600 years later to the Nagarjuna, but he met with Nagarjuna wisdom body and blessed him, and he composed Pradyoktan commentary on the Guha Samaj Tantra. These mysteries events are not acceptable for the modern historian, but the great Acharya, an accomplished teacher of the both India and Tibet, who devoted their whole life to spirituality, accepted these mysterious facts unanimously. Therefore, we cannot deny the mysterious event with our limited intellect. For example, even in terms of development of the science, we know that from the balloon in the beginning, today we all are enjoying the supersonic jet. Likewise, there are great power of minds in terms of the secret practice of the Vajrayana that we cannot deny. Likewise, the miraculous activity of Guru Rinpoche are also vast and profound. Generally, 4 ways of the birth are accepted in Buddhism. Buddhism, in Abhidhamma course, it says that Chadurda Nar Tiryak Panchyo Naraka Upatuka Antrabhav Devasya Pret Abhi Charayuj. According to Buddhism, we divide this universe into 6 migrants. Among 6 migrants, God realm, demigod realm, human realm, and Tiryak, animal realm, and the hell realm. In God realm, demigod realm, hungry ghost realm, and hell realms, beings are born by mysterious way, upaduka, mysterious way. Only, even in human being, we believe that there are 4 types of birth. Human being and animal beings are, animal being can birth 4 types. There is andaj, eggs also, worm also, and heat and moisture also, and miraculous also. So Guru Rinpoche was born as a miraculous way. This is my assumption, what I want to try to say. Guru Rinpoche's birth was miraculous, not the womb, as historian people try to explain. There are all 4 types of birth in the human beings and animals. The commentary of the Abhidhamma course can be consulted for the detailed elaboration on it. As said, according to the Guru Padmasambhava birth, it says in Namasangati, Buddha Padma Udbhava Shrimam Sarvakya Jnana Kosha Drik. And same time, it says in the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, Buddha himself says, I achieved the Mahaparinirvana to dispel the position of eternalism. To dispel the position of nihilism, I will take the birth as a prince on the floor of the Dhanakosha pound. Thus the birth of Padmasambhava on the lotus floor and his beneficial activities are mentioned in the Sutra and Tantra. The great Tibetan historian Wangchuk Dorjee Negi also said, to tame the non-human beings, Padmasambhava took the birth on the lotus and benefited in numerous beings. Therefore, the life and activity of Padmasambhava cannot be arranged in order. Same thing it says by Sakya Pandita in Trisamvar Vibhanga. The king invited Padmasambhava to his country, Tibet. He kept all the 12 evil spirits of the Tibet in his custody. Therefore, the dissemination of the non-Buddhist position is not possible here. Thus, all the great accomplished master of the Tibet bow down to him with respect. Describing Guru Rinpoche's personality, Upadhyaya Shantarakshi says, I have put all the non-Buddhists in Buddha teaching with my knowledge. I am well versed in all the sutra and paramutta texts, and I practice bodhicitta, but I cannot control the non-human being of Tibet. To tame them, Guru Acharya Padmasambhava, the Odyan, must be invited because he is the person who has achieved the accomplishment of longevity and the status of Vidyadhara. He is able to control all God, devils, and restrict them to protect and disseminate Chanda Dharma. The Uddiyana Shantarakshita requested the Emperor Trisudejan. From this, it is clear that Padmasambhava was an accomplished tantric practitioner and had control over the lifespan. Dipankar Shrijan had a vision of goddess Tara, and because of her inspiration, he became a monk rather than become a king. He was the chancellor of the Vikramshil Mahavihara University. Before he went to Tibet, he was a bodhisattva endowed with a clairvoyance power. He also said that Padmasambhava equivalent to the second Vajradhar, and thanks to him, many scriptures were collected in the Samya monastery from Dhakas and Dhakinis, which were not available even in India. This is said by Dipankar Shrijana. Today, Vajrayana Buddhism and its philosophy are separating from over Himalayan region to every corner of the world, and all credit goes to the Padmasambhava. Regarding this, many prophecies and biographies are found in the Sutra, Tantra, and hidden teaching. Here it is not possible. Okay. Anyhow, my paper is with you. I have already hand down to my paper. Maybe if someone wish to read it, maybe in your hand, because of the time not allowing me to go. Means complete to my paper. Anyhow, means I try to explain about, of course, his 8 manifestation. This is only possible when you are able to agree to accept him as Upadupart, then only it is possible to explain the 8 manifestation of Guru Padmasambhava. Otherwise quite difficult. Same, I try to explain the Guru Rinpoche's disciple, 25 disciple, his legacy in my paper, and then Guru Padmasambhava holy places in the Himalayan region, where it was, I try to explain that, and same time I try to meaning the mantra of Om Ahum Bhadra Guru Padma Siddhi. What are the meaning of actually Om Ahum Bhadra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum? So I am not going through the paper because of the time. Anyhow, lastly only, last I want to just, otherwise okay, I don't think to be read. I think it is good to be give time to the audience.
So continuing on the theme of texts and commentaries, thank you so much for giving such a lucid explanation of what is it about. You also drew on several texts also in the process, and also drew attention on that we have to have a comprehensive understanding of reality from different sides, and also how the body, speech and mind are in harmony with each other, and only then spiritual realization happens. Thank you so much.